Uh, this is going to be a good one, right? I know I say that every day, and I'm usually right? Like, it's usually a good one. It's usually at least one that you're like, man, he put some thought and some effort into what he's presenting us right now, right? Today is going to be the same with that, right? It is going to be me delving into, the undelvable, right? The undelved, right? I'm researching into the unresearched. I'm questioning the unquestioned, right? That's what I'm all about here, right? I'm literally getting down to it, right? And what I'm getting down to today, particularly, is some of our thoughts about magic, right? Like the overall big context of how do we speak about, envision, and manipulate magic. And it's different depending on obviously which world you're in and which world is your influence. Now, immediately right off the bat, right, I'm taking a big chunk here by saying these are the 4 models of fantasy magic, right? Like, we already know that there's a whole bunch of Harry Potter fans that will immediately jump on my neck over this, right? But you know what? We don't care. We don't care. It's not a disrespect to you. We just don't care. And it's not even that we don't care. I'm not up on it, right? It's kind of written for a different demographic, and I'm totally cool with it. I actually think it's really cool mythology. I don't have an actual issue with it. But these are the 4 that I'm dealing with here. Again, like, I'm X, right? You know where we come from with this, right? So this is also a walk through the historical mind of a X-Man, right? Like Generation X, right? X-Men is what I call us, right? So when I'm fundamentally talking about magic, right? I'm showing you my influences, right? Like, these are primarily for Western America, right? I would say these are the primary inferences here, right? These comparisons is that we were dealing with King Arthur's, magic, right? That's kind of where we grew up with. And that got manifested in a lot of ways. So I can really talk to you guys about the various ways, like King Arthur, like, in my estimation, man, King Arthur's dropped off. We used to be filled with King Arthur mythology all the time, right? Like, I don't think we've got any good King Arthur mythology, man, in like 20 years, man. I'm just being really honest. I don't know why y'all let that drop off, but King Arthur has significantly dropped off. We don't even mess with King Arthur anymore. Not like that. We don't mess with Morgan Le Fay, right? We're not messing with Merlin like that anymore. I don't know why it dropped off, but this is how I see this going down, right? So this is kind of where I'm looking at magic in this sense, and we're dealing with these 4. We're dealing with, Arthurian magic, right? Arthurian magic, right? King Arthur, right? We get that. Tolkien's magic. Now, obviously, this is a major intersection because of like how long Tolkien's history is. Like, not only my generation was, influenced by Tolkien, but obviously my parents and probably my grandparents as well, right, would have been influenced by Tolkien, their generation. So, and then of course, they're still making movies. Like the modern movies carry so much weight, like, because they got a resurgence. Guys, remember, the books have always been like huge in terms of books. They've always been at the top of like bookdom, right? And then you got to remember they had the whole animated series. I want to say this is like when Bass Rankin was still, kind of dominant. They do a whole animated Lord of the Rings that's really good. Like, it's very different, but it totally reflects the time, like everything about the time, right? So they get a resurgence with that, and then Peter Jackson brings it back, and bam, that's a whole resurgence. It doesn't seem like the shows are really extending it out, but look, this is what you know what, you're right. Don't be a cunt, man. That's the most amazing message you can put out there, right? Okay. You can see I got on, like, don't be a cunt. I got on my boys. I'm repping it right now. I got my butcher on right now. I would have worn the shirt, but I didn't think that was appropriate. Okay. But back to this. So clearly Tolkien's influences is wide. So he's influenced a lot of people in what they think about magic, right? So this is very much there, right? Now, the next one that we're going to talk about, and we'll talk about like each of these magic systems in detail, but you can kind of see like we'll go through them, right? Where Arthur's magic, like, it's very much like miraculous, it's always intended to be the will of God. It's always wielded by exceptional people. And we're going to talk about these words. Tolkien's magic, it seems like to me, it's never really explained, but it's always this ancient power. It's always rooted in like the spiritual authority. It's usually aligned with either light or with shadow, right? And wizards are servants of it, like not masters of it. There's good and there's evil, and it can go either way. And we can kind of see, and we'll talk about these people. Because with King Arthur's magic, obviously we're talking about Merlin, Morgan Le Fay, we're talking the Holy Grail, right? We're talking Excalibur. Man, there's a lot of weaponry within it that I probably should break down for you guys so that the mythology does not get lost, right? But then, of course, we go to Tolkien, and we know the stories like it's Gandalf, right? Gandalf the Wizard. It's Sauron. It's what's her name? Guinevere, whatever her name is, the White Wizard, right? The White Witch. She was on that, right? But then another like really kind of major magic component was the Conan. Like Conan from my generation was really, really big. Not just the Conan. We had the Conan movies because we had Conan animated stuff. We had Conan cartoons and comic books. Like Conan was popping, man. Like Conan has always been real life for my culture, right? For my generation, right? We've always been down with Conan. And this is like that ancient magic, man. This is that primordial, very brutal magic. A lot of times it's dark gods, it's corrupt, right? It enhances, it takes you over, right? It's all this stuff, man. It's feared by the common man. That's Conan's magic right there. Conan don't typically like to be messing with magic himself. That's Conan's kryptonite right there is magic. But he's got his homie Akira with him. As long as he's got magic that he can trust on his side, he's good, right? So this is where we coming at. This we get Thulsa Doom, you get Yogg Sothoth, right? You get the demons. And Thulsa Doom was a beast, man. He ain't dead, by the way. Y'all really need to get off of Thulsa Doom's neck. He is not dead. And then that brings us at last to Westerosi magic, all right? And Westerosi magic, to me, is not as good as some of these other magic. Like, Westerosi magic is sacrificial. Like, it's always sacrifice. I don't think I've seen any Westerosi magic that wasn't weighted in some type of sacrifice, right? Yeah, I'll check on this, right? I'll go deeper into this, but I'm pretty sure that Westerosi magic requires some kind of sacrifice. We saw the Red Queen burning that little girl up, right? It seems like it always requires something, man. I think she's the greatest issuer of magic there, right? And she always required something, right? So that was it. You have to get something in Westeros to get that magic to go down, right? Their magic is a lot of times tied to blood, right? It's tied to blood, it's tied to sacrifice, it's tied to prophecies, and the prophecies are themselves unreliable, man. Like their prophecy, like you guys just throw out prophecies. Like the thing about okay, this is why people don't believe in prophecies, man. Because you guys throw out so many prophecies that we're just like really, like that prophecy didn't work out, and this prophecy didn't work out, and but I gotta believe this one right here, right? That's what it is. That's Westerosi magic, because they be putting out a lot of prophecies, man, but their prophecy percentage rates is mad low. And the thing about it is, like, somehow, like, I guess it's all the war, the link to all the knowledge and stuff is always broken, right? It comes in chunks. Some people got it, some people don't. Right? You see how it's gained, like it's gained through this knowledge. So like Westerosi magic, man, it's very different. And the representatives for Westerosi magic, I'm going to talk about the Red Witch, Melisandre, who was one of my favorite characters, man. I'm not going to lie to you guys about Melisandre. I actually dug Melisandre, right? Like stay on the youthful side, right? I was with that part. But I really didn't have a problem with Melisandre. So she's one of the more powerful ones. And the Blood Raven, right? So the Blood Raven is the one who is like, yeah, come over here, Bran, take over, right? And then, of course, Bran, who becomes exceptionally powerful. He becomes, I think, the most powerful in Westerosi magic, right? Because in Westeros, like, if you're watching House of Dragons right now, I don't think we've seen anything magical happen yet, right? Like, what are we, like, 2 episodes deep right now? We're 2 episodes deep on House of Dragons. And have I seen anything magic? I don't think I've seen one magical thing. I mean, outside of the fact that there are dragons, right? Like, I get that. There are dragons, okay? That unto itself is magical. So you're 100% right on that. That unto itself is magical. But I want to see somebody doing some magic, man. Like, I don't know. That's just me. So we're seeing, okay. And again, because we're heavy on dragons, let me say this directly to the House of Dragons, right? The House of Dragons show, right? I'm saying this directly to you, man. Like, thank you right now, man. Like, you guys understood the assignment, man. You guys got right into it. I'm telling you, man, you guys weren't trying to like, oh man, let's space these battles out. Like, let's choose short clip. You guys have gone deep onto some very extensive battles. I can understand now why this takes years to get this accomplished, right? Like, what you're essentially doing is creating incredibly long movies. I can see that's the approach that you're taking. Otherwise, you wouldn't be showing these very long, very complicated, very drawn out, and very demanding battle scenes. And they're great. I love it. Like, I mean, come on, man. We're getting dragons getting clipped, and you guys are very heavy on dragons. Like, that is absolutely appreciated. You guys are very heavy on dragons, right? So I'm bowing down to all that, but I'm simply saying that, I thought there was magic here too, and we don't get an overabundance of magic, okay? Maybe I'm asking too much. If someone were to say, look, you're asking too much, I'd be like, all right, well, it is what it is, okay? So that's kind of what we see. So I want to talk a little bit about Westerosi magic, like, because since the White Witch, you know what? Okay. I guess I've been tripping because I've been ignoring everything going on in Harrenhal. We've been away from Harrenhal for so long that I forgot about what was going on at Harrenhal, and I misspoke, right? I misspoke. Because there's actually the witch over at Harrenhal, and if you're watching the series right now, she's about to be mad relevant, right? Like, man, this is one of those very subtle things. This is one of those very subtle things in the show where Damon slipped up, man. Like, you always doing shit like this, Damon, and like, you needed to, I know we're not giving her Harrenhal. I think you needed to, look, let's talk about this after this mission's done. Like, you needed to have let her know you was taking her seriously. And that's just reading the room, man, right? So this is Damon not reading the room at all, right? So that's kind of where but other than that, so there is magic there. I need to get off of it. Like, I'm really, really on that. So I'm going to compare it to a lot of other magics, or like the four magics, the magic principles that we see. And I think there's a lot of meat on the series when we look at both, like, how it's used, where it's coming from, and who's making the most effective use out of that. So I think these four worlds right here are one good lane to look at, but that in no way, because that really does leave a lot of like fairy magic out of there, man. Like, is there one? Yeah, there's elves there, so I guess that's inclusive. This seems like it's leaving a lot out there. I have to admit that. But these are like the four staples that we're going to start off with. Looking at like magic, in general, right? And I would say, like, I mean, it's kind of crazy because each one of them shows various layers of kind of riding it out. Like, it's always prevalent in Conan. It's all kinds of demons and stuff in there. And that might be my favorite. That might be the favorite of all of them. But like I said, when you go back, man, each one of them. See, okay, here's where I think Westeros is not giving, like, there's no magical weapons, right? Like, am I missing something in Westeros? Is there a magical weapon out there? Because I haven't found it. Because King Arthur, like, the Arthurian mythology, that gives us a lot, man. That gives us a lot. Like, you got not only the Holy Grail, you also get like, King Arthur's sword. What was it? Excalibur, right? You get, I know there's a couple of like sacred like shields and some other stuff. With Tolkien, obviously you get the ring. Like, who else had a magical? Okay, the ring. What else? Yeah, magic. Oh, you get like, Frodo's what do you call it? What do you call his sword, man? Sting, right? That would glow. So they give it to you. Conan's heavy doses of magical implements all throughout that, right? But Game of Thrones, like, yeah, you give us, good magic, but you don't give us a lot of magic. That's my only complaint. And I guess if you're giving us all the good battles and the great storyline and really good acting and fucking, dragons, like more dragons than I can handle, I guess the best thing for me to do is shut up about it, right? Like, stop complaining, right? Be thankful every now and then. And you know what? I'm going to take that route. I am going to take that route. Everything I just said in criticism, I need to shut up because I've been enjoying the series too much, right? And that's just nitpicking at this point, all right? But I do want to go into detail about how the magic differs on these four, because these were all like major influences in like how I would see magic, what I thought about magic. So let's get into it. Let's get into the next one here, right? So the first one that we have up. Oh, come on. What are you doing here? Oh, okay. So we're going to talk. So let's talk about Westeros magic, right? Westerosi magic itself is kind of enigmatic, man. Like during this era, this is where we're catching Westerosi magic at a really good point. Now, Westeros has a lot of magical stuff. Like I said, like I've been slipping. Of course, like it's dragon magic, right? That's their main one. That's their main magic right there is dragon magic. Then you have, and I'll explain all these, you have dragon dreams, you have Valyrian blood magic, you have the old gods, right, magic, which is still there. The old gods are always represented pretty good, right? You also have like those that are into necromancy and necromancy and resurrection, like that whole like, and that's some real stuff right there too, man, because who is that, man? Like the Brothers of the Light. I think it's the Brothers of the Light. They were always the one, like, was it Dedrick Dondarrion? You guys know the dude I'm talking about, man, from the OG series, right? I can't remember what his name is. Dude with the flaming sword, right? Those guys, he was dying and coming back. They were heavy into resurrection. It was their god. I think that was the same god that Melisandre was. So like when they met, they were both like, oh, okay, you repping that too. Okay, we're warrior faction and we're repping that. So we do get a lot, but this is a good time. Like they got all this. You have cursed and enchanted places. So you got like obviously like Harrenhal Hall, which I have mentioned, right? And and then of course at the heart of it's dragon. So it's a lot of different kinds of magic that's going on in Westeros at the same time. Like this is magic field. You really got to look at it just because it's so much, it's so heavily in there. They don't, it's not about the people as much. Like the people don't have as much direct control over Westerosi magic, but it's magic all around you. Like that's probably the better way to take it, right? And the interesting thing is that historically, we're at a time in the House of Dragons era that magic is popping off. And the way that we know magic is popping off is because there's a lot of dragons. Like, so thriving dragons is an indicator of a thriving magical system in terms of the magic of Westeros, right? This is foundational to like magic. Is magic thriving and the overall usage of magic, right? So when dragons thrive, prophecies become more common, dragon dreams appear more, Valyrian magic is stronger, magical artifacts are now fully functional, and certain bloodlines have powers that are more active. Like your family will be moving along better, right? This is different. Like we don't typically like so it's more subtle. Like I think their magic is more kind of subtle magic, right? Things are happening, but you're not gonna see just people running down the street throwing fireballs or like, oh, it's a spell and now you're turned into a frog. That's not really what's going on in Restaurant. But magic is arguably stronger even when the Targaryens were right at the height of it, right? So there was the Golden Age timeline. If we look at the timelines of Game of Thrones, like back in the day, but we're at a good point of magic right now. Like we got a lot of dragons running around here. I know we lost a dragon last week. Like rest in peace, Jace, man. Like you went out like a soldier. Definitely, like you went out like a soldier. I didn't think you needed to go out, but like you had to handle your business, man. And you're right, man. Jace, you were right. Jace, like I need this clip to stand out too. Notable, right? This clip. Jace, you were right to tell your mom to get your ass in that room. You're not going out there, right? Like what you should have did. Like you got your lieutenants were spread out. Not you did what you had to do, man. You did what you had to do. But all you had to do was jump off and cut the anchor off of dragons, because that obviously that's a water tactic. It doesn't work in any other light, right? And I don't know that all dragons drown underwater like that quickly. I don't know if a dragon drowns that quickly. I am going to challenge that. I don't know why we think a dragon. These are magical creatures, and I just drown you. Okay, if that's what you're saying about it, HBO. Okay, I'm just questioning that. It's a great strategy. But it would seem like, and like their skin is pierced really easy. You can pierce these dragon skins with nothing, man. Like, I mean, come on, man. Come on, man. These are young, healthy dragons. I don't know how you're just piercing their scales, you know, like their scales are nothing, right? I mean, that's what happened here, right? But I digress, right? So obviously, at this period of time, magic is good, man. If you're working down there, big magic, man, the stocks are high. It's trading good. You guys got lots of young draft picks coming up in the pipeline. Everybody's salaries are manageable. I see a good outlook for this team. This is a great time for magic. And dragon magic is popping. And this is what it is, right? And here's the thing. Like, when we talk about dragons and dragon magic, particularly for the Targaryens, like, the Targaryens were not simply riding on dragons. That's not what they were doing. These Targaryens have formed what appears to be a supernatural bond between dragons and the rider based on their bloodline. Based on the dragons being able to sense that Targaryen bloodline in you. So whatever happened at the beginning of that shit, a Targaryen did a solid to a dragon, and the dragon said, we are going to be friends forever. It is always up. I can never repay you for what you did to me. So now every dragon's like, oh man, it's Targaryen. Yeah, what's up? What are we doing? Right? Like, they get on scale like individually picking somebody, but overall they're like, yeah, we're down for the Targaryens. That's not a question. How you fumble all that and not run the kingdom because you guys don't know how to act is really a problem. You guys really actually are crazy. Like, every single, like, I haven't seen a Targaryen that doesn't seem to be crazy to me. Right? I haven't seen one yet. So dragons can recognize bloodlines. A lot of these riders will experience prophetic dreams, and over time, dragons become, it seems like, emotionally connected to their riders. Like, we saw that with Rhaenys and her dragon. I can't remember what her dragon's name is, but you know, when they were like, the bond between them was very, very strong. And you can kind of see it, like, Caraxes, like, that's Daemon in dragon form. Like, that's the real thing about it. Daemon in dragon form is Caraxes, right? That's how tight they are, right? And we see all of them have that tightness with their dragon like that. Like, you know, it's a lot of it's selection, I think, like choosing somebody where you see that kindred spirit in you, right? And just how they're matched up. Because most people have, like, a deep kind of like, yeah, I love my dragon, man. That's my dragon right there, man. Yeah, what's up, homie? Yeah, I got you. Yeah, man, I missed you. Where you been? What you been up to, man? Come over here, man. That's what it is. Like, cause otherwise it's disastrous, right? It's disastrous if it's not. So the dragons being stronger means more dragon dreams, which is very consistent. You know, there's Aegon Targaryen famously foresaw a great threat coming from the north. That is one of the fundamental backgrounds of how Westeros culture even developed, right? Viserys received symbolic prophetic visions throughout his crazy rule. And Daemon experiences very strange visions at Harrenhal. Like, we see Daemon going through it. I thought Daemon was high. I know what, drunk. I know what was going on with Daemon there. But yes, that is 100% it. Okay. Now, the other part that we kind of talk in and out about is Valyrian magic, like Valyrian blood magic. And Valyrian blood magic ain't no joke, right? Valyrian blood magic is no jokes, right? There's no jokes about it. Literally, you can't laugh at it. And this is a lot of stuff going on there, man. Valyrian blood magic, man. You got blood sacrifices going down, right? Yeah, that happening. You have dragon breeding, like they were the ones that were aligning all this dragon breeding going on. You have fire magic over there in Valyria. Like, Valyria was off the hook, right? We get all that. You have magical engineering. You had genetic manipulation of Dragon Lord families. So this is where it all comes from. So, you know, fans even suspect dragons themselves were created through this magical process happening at Valyria. Like, Valyria was like, geez, man, I'm going to have to go back and get up on the actual past of Valyria, but goddamn, right? Like, it was off the hook that we're still seeing like the remnants of Valyria, right? And everybody's kind of like, you know, at this point, to me, it seems like very dismissive of Valyria. I guess after the kingdom crumbled, I guess they felt like they picked off all the bones or whatever, and they moved on. Because it is off the hook over there. It's absolutely off the hook over there in Valyria, right? So then you have like the werewoods, right? That magic. That's the older gods' magic. That's the green seers. This is the path that Bran Stark would ultimately go down. This is wargs, right? This is deep stuff, man. This deserves and will get its own separate breakdown. Like, it absolutely deserves it, because this is a very, very interesting form of magic, and now I have to do it. Like, now I have to do it, right? Because you get so much out of it, and it seems like to me, now I have questions about what's the most powerful magic there, because it doesn't even seem like it's the dragons anymore. Like, as we get into Westeros itself, dragons ain't even, because we all know that the old gods are the ones who's making all the big moves, right? Like, we recognize where, clearly, the Valyrians don't count anymore because you're destroyed, so you don't count anymore, right? We get off of that, but like the dead magic, like, we'll get into the dead magic too, because then we start talking about the White Walkers. Like, man, this was like, whew, man. So it's a lot going on here. It's a lot going on in Westeros and their magic. So it's important to kind of get into all, because it's deep, man. It's deep layers that I think we're missing. If you're just watching the show, you're missing all the stuff, right? You're missing a lot of the stuff, okay? And we know who was down with like the werewood and the old gods. Like, I remember Caitlyn Stark messing with that. Who else? Obviously, that was her brand. That was her family. That's why Bran ended up going down that path. And I think that because they're the behind the scenes one, they're the most powerful. I gotta talk about the necromancy though. Like, the necromancy, because this is where it gets. This is where I'm thinking like, yeah, these guys are the dopest here. And then I'm like, yeah, I forgot about these guys. And necromancy is like that. Like, necromancy almost took over the world, right? Like, this is where I was getting. This is the Lord of Light, like the resurrection gods. This is the creation of undead beings. And so when we start talking about like the White Walkers, like, I mean, damn, they were proactively like right there from taking over the world. And wouldn't have, they were like, yeah, dragons too. Dragons can get this White Walker too. If you got a dragon, good. Bring your dragon out here, because we're going to kill your dragon, and then we're going to turn him into a White Walker dragon, and now you got to worry about a White Walker dragon, which is worse than a regular dragon, right? And everybody knows that it's worse, man. Everybody knows whatever you got, if you make it White Walker, now it's worse, right? Like, we saw some creatures that ordinarily aren't considered all that dangerous, right? Like a rabbit. And all of a sudden, if you're a White Walker rabbit, I'm afraid of you, right? Like, if I see a deer, I'm not necessarily thinking you're necessarily going to attack me unless you're a werewalker, White Walker deer, right? Then you're definitely going to attack, and you're going to be rabid. You're going to be crazy about it too, and you're going to be hard to kill. So we get that. So, man, like, in the capacity for these beings to seize power like they almost did in Westeros, it's staggering, man. Like, yeah, those beings right there, that magic, that resurrection magic, yeah, it's deserving of study, right? And then you get like the curse spaces, right? You get that stuff and the supernatural places that exist here. Like I mentioned right off the bat, Harrenhal, which is like, yeah, I don't even mess with Harrenhal. Like, I don't know why anybody goes to Harrenhal. I'm not going there. Like, I don't want Harrenhal. Thy Lord 9, we shall giveth thee Harren. No, I don't want Harrenhal. I'll take nothing over Harrenhal. Okay, I'll take nothing. I want the job title, but I'm not going to Harrenhal, and I don't want to even own the deed on Harrenhal. It's terrible. That's why nobody wants to work over there. Exercise. Put some religious stuff over there. Put some godswoods over there or something. Like get the stench off of it. So there's a lot, like Dragonstone, like all the Valyrian stuff. Like it all has some magical components to it. Even the wall. Like, so there's actually a lot of just ancient ruins. Like the wall, it's mad with ancient ruins and stuff to strengthen it, right? The same thing. Like, so it's always like subtly there, right? I don't know why it doesn't seem as prevalent. Maybe it's just because it's just kind of written, in a way that isn't so like, just upfront about it. But they do a great job of like developing the magic in this world. It's almost like nature. George R.R. Martin's take on magic is almost more like it's just nature. It's a part of nature. It seems like it just always exists. I don't know if but regular people don't try to practice it though. So maybe it's a access to knowledge type of thing, which kind of makes sense given where they live at. So that's the magic of Westeros. Like in the magic of Westeros, man, we've seen it over these last several years, like subtly be great. Like we've seen some great stuff. I think we've seen good representations of every single one of these, like every single one. We live for the dragon magic, the dragon dreams, the Valyrian blood magic. Yeah, we're very well rooted. Even Daenerys like spoke old Valyrian, right? Which is, the language is still going. Then the old gods, right? And even like I don't know where the Dothraki had some form of, like they have magic too. Like everybody did have a little bit of like spell casting kind of magic that they would control. And that's always been kind of the cool element of it. Like we never meet too many we do have a couple of witches. And I'm going to talk about the witches too. I'm going to talk about each one of them, man. Because Melisandre to me, man, that's one of my favorite characters. Like, I'm still rooting for Stannis back then. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I was rooting for Stannis Baratheon. Okay. Yeah, and she had aged horribly, right? Like she was like 100 and something years old. But the next one, okay, so that's our Westeros. That's our Westerosi magic, right? So the next one, I want to compare Westeros magic versus that Conan magic, right? And again, Conan, this is one of my favorite, like, whatever, right? Okay, so Westeros versus Conan magic. These are two different worlds. These are two philosophies. It's very different take that they have on the same, like, phenomenon. This phenomenon of magic. Now, Conan, in Westeros, they're always talking about how magic is returning, right? It's a force of nature and it's been lost for centuries because mankind had been tripping, right? Whereas in Conan's world, he's like, yeah, magic is the enemy. Always, right off the rip. It's ancient, it corrupts stuff, it doesn't belong around here, it's touched by forbidden knowledge. Conan ain't messing with that magic if he doesn't have to, right? Because in his world, in Conan world, magic is ancient, it's corrupting, it's it's used by villains like that to take away the freedoms of regular people. And if we look at like the Thulsa Doom story, yeah, that was pretty much what he was doing there. Like that was exactly what Thulsa Doom was doing. He was using magic to completely take over, right? So for Conan, this directly to him, it's all unnatural. It's all scary and it's all horrifying. So that's how he sees magic. Like overall, he's like, no, we ain't playing with that magic nonsense, right? So if we see like a comparison between the two, just look at the examples here, right? Let's look at the source, okay? In Westeros, magic is dragons, blood, sacrifice, old gods, children of the forest, green seers, ice and fire magic. In Conan's world, it's demons, dark gods, ancient civilizations, and forbidden knowledge. So it's never like cool out there when they're talking about Conan's magic, right? And we see like in Westeros, like the wielders of it, the sorcerers are often chosen or born into this bloodline. It's usually like tied to family, visions, those type of things. Where sorcerers in Conan's world, man, you get out the mud, man. These are self-made wizards. You were just a guy who just started reading everything and you figured out how to make stuff happen with magic, right? Like we know that guy. He exists right now. So that's kind of the big difference, like how they come about it, right? On the Westeros side, the gods are mysterious. We never know what they're doing. You have to have faith that the gods are going to help you. You have to. Sometimes you question, but you got to really just be in line with the gods, right? In Conan's world, the gods themselves are frightening individuals. The universe is completely indifferent. The universe doesn't even care about you, right? At worst, at best, the universe doesn't care about you. At worst, man, it could be a whole lot. It could be a whole lot more grim than that, right? We've seen it be a whole lot more grim than that. Now, in terms of like monsters, like man, like okay, in Conan's world, we see a lot of that relics and stuff, like turn into monsters. protectors, guardians. We see a lot of guardian monsters. Versus the Westeros side, monsters are part of like the balance, right? It's more biological than anything else. So like we're sitting on two fundamentally different structures for magic. Westeros magic versus Conan magic. And I don't know if it's even really a versus type scenario, right? With Conan's magic usually most of the time, magic's probably gonna be a curse. Half the time that you go out there and do something with magic, yeah, it's gonna come back on you. You can go out there and do that magic bullshit if you want to, but you know it never works out. It's always a price that you're gonna have to pay. That's why Conan doesn't mess with it, man, because he's like, yeah, it's not straight up, man. I can't just stab you, right? So I don't like to pay with it, right? So magic is rarely a gift to him, and like we see it, like the like Thoth Amon, like all these. Conan says like. There is a study to the ancient art, and the people who do it themselves are bad when they do it. Whereas Westeros, it's more like it's coming back, like it's resurging. And I don't know if that's good. Centuries of missing that contact, now they're starting to get back into it. I think they're even handling dragons different. So those are two different like ratios on how they're coming about it, right? And this is a fundamental difference because you think about like what Westeros magic has been able to produce. It's pretty astounding. And I'm going to talk about the White Walkers, pretty quickly here. But in Conan, the source of magic itself is often demons. So that tells you what they think about anything on the surface, right? It ain't good, right? They get it from dark gods. They get it from ancient civilizations. They have books of forbidden knowledge. So you're not supposed to be learning any of this stuff. And if you do, you're going to be in trouble, right? It's 100% what it is, right? So humanity is built on, for Conan's world, humanity is built on all these layers. From Westeros, the magic actually comes from the dragons, which totally makes sense. It's a dragon world, and so you're dealing with sacrifices. You got the blend of the old gods, you got the children of the forest. You got a lot of magic that's going on. So it's more feeling like it's woven into the fabric, like the real fabric of the entire culture, right? And Conan hates it, right? And so how common is magic? Like in Conan's world, magic is kind of rare, right? For the most part. Most people never see it. Most people don't believe in it. Then like a giant snake, demon appears and eats everybody up. But that's how it goes. They didn't know until that snake showed up. Whereas in Westeros, I think, are people more aware? I guess magic is also pretty rare there because they're known more for their warfare than anything else. Or, it's a big thing. That's a big thing. So in Westeros, we see a lot of it, like Daenerys' dragons, Melisandre's miracles, Bran's vision. All this stuff is under like the umbrella of magic in Westeros, and I think it's pretty good. Now we look at Conan, man. Every time there was some sorcery, it was going to be a problem, man. He had some real issues with magic. I can't blame him for not messing with people who mess with magic. Like all their sorcerers getting their power the same way, though. In Westeros, in Conan's world, they had to study. They studied their asses off to get power, right? And then they kind of became like, for at least James Earl Jones's character, they literally became like cults. And that expanded their power. So they came about it differently, but their power came from like doing these like long rituals that required like a lot of sacrifice. So that's how they were able to replenish their power. And for them in that world, that power also goes through bloodlines. This is, visions come along with it. Divine interception. There's all these things that came along with how they saw their magic come out. And in Conan's world, like even in Conan's world, the gods themselves are kind of terrifying. Like you don't really like when he talks about Crom, I'm like, yeah, I'm glad I'm not over there working down at Crom. Like Crom sounds terrible, right? He'll kick you out of paradise or the afterlife and laugh at you because you didn't know the riddle was steel. So that's notable, like how they saw the gods and what those comparisons were, because humanity's strength is, kind of rooted in figuring out these relationships. So with magic, how does that work functionally in a society? And Westeros has kind of been that experience as well. In Westeros, they see the gods different. They're very mysterious, but no one really capes for no one ever really capes for them as hard as they do for, say some of the Lucas. Like, I think maybe with Westeros's magic, I don't think anyone there fully gets the entire package. I think people get parts of it. I think the Lords of the Light is one, well, obviously one faction. The old gods are a different faction. Then there's the drowned gods. There's a lot going on in Westeros. There's the seven. So they have some deep mythology, and that kind of figures into it deeply, deeply, deeply. Now, Conan, we also see, you know, a lot more creatures. His creatures are usually like, you know, of a forgotten age. Giant serpents, right? You got demons, you got, you know, other horrors, ancient creatures. It kind of borders on being kind of Lovecraftian. And we're not necessarily supposed to understand each of them. They just appear. They're just monsters who showed up. And right? That's kind of it. Whereas with Westeros, it's, you know, like, man, their monsters are kind of different too, man. Because now we're dealing with dragons, we're dealing with giants, we're dealing with dire wolves, right? And you got White Walkers. So that kind of gets thrown in that mix too. That's a lot to deal with. So there's some philosophical differences on how these come together. Like, Conan's message is that civilization is kind of dangerous and the old world is monstrous. Knowledge itself is dangerous. Stay away from me with magic. Whereas Westeros's magic is you know, Westeros's approach is more that history moves in these cycles, right? So magic never dies. It's just recycling again. So that's kind of how they see it. So if I had to rank these two, like, you know, I think that Westeros probably is more rich in magic on their own than just looking at the individual. Like, Westeros magic, with totality of what it is, man, I think it's probably one of the stronger magic. Like, I love Conan's magic, and I don't know, man. Conan's magic is pretty deep too, man. I don't know. That creates a dilemma for me because I really like both worlds, and I like both forms of magic. They're definitely not compatible with each other, and I think Conan's is not as complex, clearly. All right. Now, let's go to this next one here, which is what we got next. Okay, so King Arthur's magic versus Westeros magic. And this is like, you know, this is some powerful stuff right here. King Arthur, obviously, this is one of my first, like, really kind of dips into magic. So what we get is magic that's, like, for the most part, the magic's pretty divine, right? It's always good. It's always controlled. It's always kind of got a purpose. It's usually, like, you know, morally at a lower cost, right? Their magic's different. You get a magic sword, it gives you righteousness. It always had a cost. There's always some cost you pay for it, and it wouldn't be there forever. And that was part of it, is you have to accept that this isn't going to be here forever, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? You know, just understand that, right? Like, when we walk in and give you some magic, you better appreciate it, right? And the perception of it is a little more open. Like, they understand, yeah, Merlin's there. I mean, like, obviously Morgan Le Fay's like the evil one, but we can kind of see it. But going up against Westeros, I think Westeros is far more unpredictable. The cost of it is often a lot higher, considering stuff that they do. In general, in Arthur's magic, they kind of understood. The people kind of, you know, had an awe of it, a reverence, maybe even respect. With Westeros, it's like it's still hidden. Like, it's terrifying sometimes. What are you doing with that knife? Right? That's kind of how how it is, right? So, you know, with both of them, like, it just seems overall, if we look at the major influences, Merlin, Morgan Le Fay, Memway, man, they seem like they kind of outdo Melisandre, Black Raven, Blood Raven, or like the children. I think they're more powerful set. I think the magic wielders there are more powerful. I think Arthur's magic is a lot more mythical, for more fairyland type magic, versus like the dark, eerie magic of Conan's magic. So, like, there's a lot of differences. Like, ultimately, like, King Arthur's magic is kind of rooted in, you know, basically like a lot of Christian elements. So they you know, they show up. I don't know how they're able to get away with that, but they show up kind of throughout it. And so I think it kind of leverages a good story. But I don't know if they could deal with Westeros magic. I don't think they could. I think when the dragons show up, they start running. Okay, so these are kind of my 4 tenets of, like, the magic of Westeros that I wanted to run through for you guys, right? So I hope you kind of enjoyed this one. I'll be back, and I'm going to break these each down. a little bit more. Or did I have that fourth one? Let me see if I've got that other one for you guys. I may even have like another whole complete breakdown for you guys here. Guess not. All right, I guess not. Okay, so I'll have these documents up, you know, on my social media, so on my Facebook page, and I'll have it up at the YouTube channel, so you can check out these documents. We'll talk a little bit more about these. I want to open up some broader conversations about the magic here. Definitely inviting you guys to come and join me along with that. So I'll be dipping out now. I'll be back on a little bit later, where I'm kind of easing into the weekend. So I'll probably be back to give you guys another quick breakdown, maybe on some of these topics. But we'll kind of see what I decide to dice up. But I'll be checking out here shortly. There is the end of the TikTok live, and so that just leaves